If you finish your day exhausted and reach for your phone to relax, you are doing the one thing that quietly makes the exhaustion worse. Not your sleep, not your willpower, the way you relax. And here is exactly why that happens and what to do instead. I'm going to walk you through what scrolling actually does inside your brain, why a full night of sleep does not undo it, and the small changes that give you your evenings back. Stay to the end because each part builds on the one before it. A quick word on why this comes from me. I'm a burnout recovery educator. I take what we know about energy, the nervous system, and rest and turn it into clear, practical steps so you can stop running on empty and keep building your work without burning out to do it. On Insight Timer, the leading wellness app, where I publish under the name Ellen Wooten, my courses have reached more than 35,000 people, and my recovery program has helped over 2,000 of them recover from burnout and exhaustion. Let's start with what rest actually is, because this is where the usual idea of rest falls down, and the whole video follows from it. We think rest means the body stops. You sit down, you put your feet up, so you must be resting. But your body sitting still is not the same as your brain getting a break. The rest that actually refills you happens when your brain stops having to take things in and make sense of them. Hold on to that one idea because everything else builds on it. So here is the question that idea raises. When you scroll, does your brain get that break? It gets the opposite. Every time your thumb moves, a new image, a new face, a new piece of information lands in front of you, and your brain has to take each one in and make sense of it in a fraction of a second, again and again. Your body is sitting still, but your brain is working about as hard as it works at any point in your day. So scrolling is not a break from your brain. It is heavy work that only looks like rest. Hold on to that. It is the first of two things you will need in a moment. And that work comes out of a specific place. Taking in what you see and hear runs on its own tank of energy, separate from the energy in your body, and separate from your focus. In my work, I look at 6 of these tanks, each one draining separately, depending on what your day asks of you. And this is the one that scrolling hits. I call it sensory tank. The thing you need to know about it is that it has a limit. And unlike tired legs, you cannot feel that limit directly. So it can run low without you ever noticing. Which leads straight to the second thing you will need. That tank does not wait for the evening to start being used. It has been draining since the moment you woke up. The screens at work, the notifications, the bright lights, the noise, every one of those has been spanning it all day long. So by the time you sit down at night, your sensory tank is not full and ready. It is nearly empty. Now bring back the two things we have just established. The first, scrolling, is one of the heaviest jobs you can give to your sensory tank because it throws new images at you faster than almost anything else you do. The second, by the evening, that tank is already nearly empty because it has been draining all day. Put those two together and here is what you get. At the moment your sensory tank has the least left, you sit down and scroll, which is the single heaviest thing you can give it. That is why you get up from an hour on your phone more tired than when you sat down. You did not rest the tank, you pushed it past its limits. And pushing it past its limit does one more thing, which is why this follows you into the night. All that fast input keeps your body in its alert state, switched on and running on stress chemicals at the very time it is meant to be powering down for sleep. So you lie in bed, exhausted but wide awake, and even once you drop off, you get less deep sleep, the stage where your brain does its heaviest repair. So you wake up with the tank still not cleared, and the next day it starts even lower than the day before. That is how the whole thing tightens over weeks. Anyone whose day is full of screens reaches the evening with this tank low. So this is happening to a lot of people. But it is worse if you work online, because then your whole working day is on a screen. Your sensory tank runs near its limit for a living, not just in your spare time. You reach the evening more drained than most people ever do. And then you relax on a screen, the one input that finishes it off. So if the cause is too much going in, the fix is the opposite, less going in. And this is the part that catches people out. They swap a busy feed for a calmer show, but your sensory tank never counted the content, it counted the volume. A calm screen still feeds light and a stream of images to your brain to process, just a little slower. So a quiet screen lowers the load a touch. It never lets the tank clear. Here is exactly what that looks like, and each step undoes one of the things I just walked you through. First, once a day, give the tank a real clear, 10 minutes with no screen and no sound, eyes closed. And if you cannot close your eyes, rest them on a blank wall instead. Ideally a plain one in a soft plain color, nothing busy and no strong colors, because that gives your eyes almost nothing to take in. That is the one thing scrolling never lets the tank do. Second, in the last hour before bed, bring the lights down and put the screens away so your body gets the signal that the day is ending and sleep can arrive on time. Third, break up the working day so the tank never reaches empty before the evening even starts. Use a simple rhythm work for about 5 minutes. Then leave the room for 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, get off the screen completely. Take a short walk with no phone and let your eyes rest on things far away, which is the opposite of a screen, and let your body drop out of its alert state. Or move your body instead. 20 squats, up and down the stairs, a quick walk around, anything short that pulls you away from the screen for a moment. Now step back, because this goes well beyond one tired evening. Whatever your work is, the amount you can get done is not set by the hours you put in, it is set by how much energy you have to spend. And here is the part that catches people out. The focus you use to concentrate, the clear head you need to make good decisions, and the space to come up with new ideas all draw on the same brain, the same energy. So when this tank is empty, you read the same paragraph 3 times before it goes in. Small choices start to feel heavy and the fresh thinking just does not come. This is true for everyone, but it matters most if you work online, because then your whole income depends on that brain staying sharp. And you spend all day on the very screens that drain this tank. Looking after this tank is not a luxury you fit in where there is time. It is the thing that lets you keep doing your work at all without your health paying the price. And that is the whole point of everything I teach. Not to do less and not to step back from the work you care about, but to break the burnout cycle so you can keep building what you're building, your business, your work, your life, without sacrificing your health to do it. Tonight's scroll is one small piece of that. Get this right tonight and you take back your evenings. Manage all 6 tanks and you change how sustainable your whole life feels. The evening scroll drains your sensory tank, and for most people, that is the tank running lowest. But remember, the sensory tank is only one of the 6. The other 5 drain too, and for you, the most empty one might be a different tank altogether. It might even be more than one at once. Whichever ones they are, those are what is quietly running you down. So the place to start is simple. Find out which of your 6 tanks are the most drained. I run a free masterclass, Break the Creator Burnout Cycle, and create a sustainable way of working and finding your most drained tanks is one of the first things we do together. The link is below the video. If you have been running on empty for a long time and could never put your finger on why, that is where to begin. So here is the one thing to take away. Rest is your brain getting a break, and scrolling is the opposite. It loads up a tank that is already nearly empty by the evening, which is why you wake up tired, no matter how long you sleep. Give that tank less and on purpose, and your evenings start giving energy back instead of taking it. Try just the first step tonight, 10 minutes with your eyes closed, and feel the difference. Then come and find your most drained tanks with me using the link below. Look after these tanks and you get to keep building your life without burning out to do it. I will see you in the next one.